Hello Cobrats, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I'm TryclydeTamer. Last time, we fought Aghanim and were brought here to the Dark World so that we could do the rest of our task. And now we're going into the Palace of Darkness, which is somewhat similar in layout, but of course as we do more of it we're going to find out that that isn't the case. But yeah, getting started here, we are going the left path, because there's no holes to fall down in, unlike the Eastern Palace. Want to take care of things as we go down here. Once we get downstairs, we're going to see these weird-looking Medusa enemies that are going to shoot fireballs at us, and I'm going to do some exploitation after getting my small key of using the magic mirror to go to the start of the dungeon. I was watching a speedrun to find a quick path to go through. Of course, I can't really follow it verbatim because I'm not too experienced at speedrunning things. If I were to be able to speedrun any game, it would be Pikmin 2, and of course that's not really speedrunnable. It's just like doing an 8-day run, just trying to do things as efficiently as possible and doing somewhat sequence breaking. Now this path is entirely optional. It's going to eventually lead you to your dungeon map. I don't need to collect these anti-fairies, gotta be careful of them to not take them away my magic though. Link, can you hear me? It's me, Zelda. I'm locked in Turtle Rock on top of Death Mountain. I know you are doing your best, but please hurry. Alright, we shall heed what you're saying, and we're going to dash into that because it's rounded around and I can dash into it with my Pegasus shoes. We got some berries. There's blue and red ones. Not quite berries, that's the kind you eat. I'm not talking about Pokemon anymore. Don't bother bombing those things down there. Yes, eventually we're going to be reaching our dungeon map, and very similar to the Igors, we got these Dorias. Their names are actually pretty similar as well. You can take down the green ones with the sword similarly, just like the Igors, and then the red ones you have to take them down with your arrows, but they're significantly more complicated. If you get too close to them and right in their path, they will shoot a fireball, so right, so you didn't right there. But what you want to do is you want to kind of get in close range and then walk down with an arrow so that he walks down into it. Very nice trick-shotting skills, like you walk as the enemy. Come on, gotta get it just right. First of all, I gotta face where you are. Face that way and go down. There we go. Take a few tries, but oh well. Not really at the cost of too many arrows because I replenished 5. I only need 1 more to be at full. Got some spike traps in here, gotta watch for the berries, and I went very imperfectly. Okay, I'm just gonna normally walk through this. There we go, don't bounce into the berry and the spike trap. That's how I double-ify everything. But here we go, here's our dungeon map. Always makes me think of like a seashell whenever I pick it up for some reason, due to its appearance. Kind of like the shells that you get in Link's Awakening. I haven't fully played that game, but I've seen a couple of Let's Plays. Yes, the red berries divide into berries. You don't want to hit them. Got some moles that we can't whack yet. Maybe with our dungeon item we would be able to. Bomb this wall, you got a fairy fountain. And again, this area is entirely optional, and on the other side of this wall is going to be a completely and entirely optional opening the chest, small key. So yeah, you don't really need that to traverse the dungeon fully, but I like to have it anyway, just have a full collection of everything here in the Dark Palace. Alright, now we're going to take the middle path. You can push the statue on the right if you want to go through more easily, but I decided to use my mirror in that way. Alright, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to push this block out of the way, and then I'm going to actually fall down because there are things of use for me. Pick up the skull, we got a switch, gotta be careful of all the Selphos appearing because they're the dangerous ones that shoot their head at you. Oh man, too bad for my face. I don't know. We're going to go back to this place with this anti-fairy. I'm just going to keep this in the video because why not? Then we're going to push this statue around. Don't want to be hit by the Helmosaur. Didn't really explain to him. You can either throw a pod at him or hit him from the side or behind. Hit him in the butt. Yeah. Let's see, what exactly am I doing here? I do believe I want to go this way because there is actually another small key that awaits me. My volume is kind of quiet in my ear, but the music of the Dark World's palaces does get kind of degrading if you're in the dungeons for a long time, having a lot of trouble figuring out what to do. And by the way, those terror pins cannot knock them down yet. Maybe with our dungeon item we will. That's like a theme. I should also show that you can pick up bombs. Hey, I'm being pretty efficient as well. Picked it up and it exploded so that it didn't hurt me. And it also knocked this thing down. And it's not a bad thing to come down here because you actually kind of need to go down this way. I have 3 keys at my disposal, so that's going to be very helpful. I can just blast through all these locked doors, as long as I use the key anyway. But yes, go down this way. Got our big key, the master key of the dungeon. Always gotta mention that. Those are words for the wordless. the master key, locked doors and stuff, and the fact that I always gotta mention my always mentioning the things that I always mention. And doing so much backtracking, but oh well, I don't really feel the need to cut it out. Having deja vu of the way he's running around in that somewhat elliptical path. Alright, we do have 2 keys now. 50 arrows, 28 bombs, 204 rupees. I don't know why I'm just mentioning all this stuff. And we're in this room. We got a bunch of hard hat beetles. Want to be careful with them. Let's do something a little strategic. I want to use my ether abilities because I don't really think of too many times to use it, but this is a particular instance in which would be helpful. Freeze them up. They will still bounce you around. Ooh, surprised that the bumper didn't cause trouble for me. Of course, with our master sword, we can easily take them out, but not too much of a worry for me. That guy might unfreeze soon, so I need to go post-haste. I'm not going to bother defeating him. Hit the switch down there, and we can do that, but this isn't actually where we want to be. How exactly do you want to do this? I want to maybe hit the switch like that. Trick shot it. No, come on now. Yeah, this isn't really where we want to go anyway. We actually want to push these blocks out of the way. You can't knock the other one down. Ooh, I fell down same time with the hard hat beetle. Oh well, if I was going to have trouble with something, it might as well have been that. So there we go with all that. Done with that side. I can still hit the switch from this side anyway, so I don't need to worry about things being messed up. Blue is down, red is up, so I need to make red go up and blue go down, even though switch up my ups and downs. That right there is blocked. It would be eventually where you would utilize the extra small key that you do not need. I'll be showing what happens with it anyway. This room, let's get ready to pick things up and dash because the floor is going to be collapsing behind you. Please do not cause me trouble. Helmosaur, kill you, put you out of your misery. It's like he's trying to come after me. Oh no, you're being so bad. But yes, the floor is disappearing. I was waiting for it to catch up so I can show that. And maybe I saved him by doing that because it froze time and stuff. I'm going to do something strategic here as well. I'm going to toss a bomb and open up that wall so I can have it ready. It's like, if it was a bomb that took a while to explode, I could have done that ahead of time, and then by the time I got there, it would have exploded and done things for me, but it's not too much to wait for. There's some bombs to replenish, so I made use of that to replenish the one that I used up. I might have been down to 27. I wasn't really paying attention to my numbers. Not like I really need to, though. But yeah, the thing I mentioned in the Aghanim Tower on my way up is that there was a room with winding corridors. This is a Dark Palace room with winding corridors that I was kind of alluding to at that point. Not really too difficult. You have a lot of those Dodonka-like enemies, even though the Kodongas in the light world, not really sure of the name in the dark world. Magic Hammer is our item of the dungeon. You can pound things into the ground. You can use it to pound other things too. Very nice. I like pounding things. Can I pound you from here? I cannot because it doesn't have much of a reach. Feels weird having a hammer in a Zelda game, even though there are quite a few instances in which it appears, like the Megaton Hammer in Ocarina of Time, the Skull Hammer in Wind Waker. No, I want to be more strategic. I can't go through every single thing. Gotta loop around, keeping this in for the huzzay of it. Gonna knock down your face. Those doorways kind of look like they have evil skulls on them. Aside from when they actually do have evil skulls on them when they're closed and need to be open. I was being YOLO-iferous by going for that magic jar, even though it didn't really seem to be coming away due to the floor disappearing. Trying to avoid all you guys, even though I have my hammer, I kind of forgot about that. Let's knock you down with my hammer, knock you all down with my sword. If you hammer them again, they will get right back up. Yeah, defeating them, you'll sometimes get a lot of rupees out of it. So here's the place that you don't really need to go because there's not really much for you. Got a blue rupee, and I love doing things like this, just push those spikes out of the way, even though kind of face ruin can still hurt you. And yeah, you end up here and you're blocked anyway, so I need to do some backtracking. Oh well, such is the way of a Zelda player. Ooh, man, the floor was probably going to start disappearing right on top of me. Wasting a couple more seconds. Coming up on 10 minutes in the recording, probably just under 9.5 minutes on the other stuff. Always gotta do a time check in these episodes. Go downstairs, let's light this thing up, and not get hit by the anti-fairies, and actually make my stuff land in the thing. Plenty of rupees to grab. Always gotta do some rupee spending. Probably going to later in this episode, depending on how things go. That was a little weird skidding going around. Got those hairpins there beyond that little barrier. Gotta watch out for the other anti-fairy here. I'm not gonna bother doing stuff with it because I have full fairies in my bottles, and I don't want to waste any more magic than I have already used up anyway. So now we're here. I want to go back and backtrack again. I probably should have taken the upper pass so I could have been more efficient with what I was doing, but oh well. What's done is done. The past is in the past. Let it go. I'm not gonna sing that song even though I just did. Alright, hey, I could probably use Ether again. Actually, this time I'll use Quake because I don't really use it too much on my own time, even though I believe it's required to use. Alright, it kind of stuns them in their path, maybe not quite as good as Ether. But oh well, let's just make the blue go down, red go up, and make the switch turn the color blue. Anyway, aside from us singing, we have to uncover a switch that is over here. You can kind of do some phasing through the statue to more efficiently push it up. I was watching the speedrun that talked about that, but didn't really make use of it. Not really too concerned with that anyway. Not too concerned. Those are words for the vocab list. And heck, the words vocab list are becoming words for the vocab list as well. I don't really want to make a vocab list myself, so if there are any heartfelt viewers, all one of you, that would like to do it, go ahead. Sorry that I obligated you to do that. Come on, let's get down. Barely grazed you. There we go. We are done. Get my rupees. Even though the arrow's back. Wait for the spike trap. Ooh, I almost ran right into it when it would have been equally as bad. Come on, come right past me. Then I'm gonna dash out of the way. Woo. And then I'm gonna actually shoot that guy in the eye because it needs to happen in order to make the wall recede. It's very shaking all over the place. Siege warning again, I guess. So many things happening that has to make the blade trap stop in its tracks as well. Oh man, sure is taking its time to go down. It's not really showing the stuff happening on 60 frames per second in the videos, so maybe it's an effect of the 60 frames per second. It's so cool how even Super Nintendo games are 60 FPS. I like how intuitive Nintendo is, even though they may not be entirely known for their visual appeal all the time anyway. A little something going on. I'm not full in heart, so I can shoot my sword beam, so instead I'm going to shoot my magic boomerang. Ooh. Recover my bombs, if only I could recover my hearts. And good thing I had one extra small key to utilize. It might have been one I missed, actually. I don't know. Actually, I did use the one to open the way back that I didn't need to. But yeah, we're getting closer to the boss now. We just have a few more rooms with all these terrapins causing trouble. A lot of people seem to have trouble with these guys. You just gotta not knock him back up with your hammer. Slowly take him down. This is a kill room because stuff will happen, as in the door will open on the way to the boss room. Talking like one of my virtual co-professors for my astronomy course that I've taken, Paul Francis. I believe this is the one we want to push down. Yes, indeed it is. If only I could recover my hearts from the anti-fairies, but they're on the other sides of the giant barriers. You guys are interloping and interacting. 552 rupees. We are ready, I believe. We can use bombs on a boss, but we have the magic hammer, which is the item of the dungeon. And let's go in and fight the boss, the Helmasaur King. There are a few ways you can take his mask down. You can just poke it with the sword a few times, but I just like to use the items of the dungeon. Sometimes I reverse those and say dungeon of the item. This is kind of another inside joke with certain LPers that do things. Might not seem like I'm doing much, but it is slowly chipping away at his mask. At least once we get his mask down, we don't have to worry about things any further. Careful of the fireballs. I wasn't too careful with it. Oh man, I'm running low in health. Not really watching what I'm doing. Gotta be careful of his tail, of course, so get kinda close to him, but he's gonna ram into me anyway. Gotta reveal his face of the Helmasaur King. His face of the Helmasaur King. I'm using my words in a great way. I'm seeing my reflection of my LPing hat in the TV that you cannot see because I'm not using Facecam. Even though I have a nice webcam that I could use, even though I gave it to my brother to use with his new computer. Anyway, back to talking about Link to the Past. No, just trying to think of something to say while I'm fighting this guy and losing a lot of my health. Jeez, I should be more careful, even though I might only need to have one more spin attack to take him down, but no, his tail just barely grazed me. It's like a scorpion of death. I guess I'm gonna have to get a few more fairies. Few and far between to get fairies. Of course, I only had one hit left to take him down. Lost 2 fairies. Of course, I'm going to be recovering my hearts after I get all my equips in here. Even though it's not equips, it's a single heart container and then a single maiden crystal. Dun 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 dun. Sounding very excited with this thing. Took about 15 minutes to get through this place, but we are finally done. Dun dun dun. Link, because of you, I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. This world used to be the Golden Land where the Triforce was hidden. But because Ganon, the boss of thieves, switched it, the world was transformed. I'm sure he's intending to conquer even our light world after building his power here. He is trying to open a larger gate between worlds near the castle using our powers. But the gate is not open completely yet. If we 7 maidens come together, we can break the barrier around Ganon's hiding place. I will tell you where the other girls are held. I believe you will destroy Ganon. I will return to my original form at that time. Ellipses. Do you understand? Why, yes, I do, young lady maiden. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. With that, I actually do not plan to end the episode quite yet, even though it took a little bit longer than I was planning to, especially with my 2 deaths fighting the Helmasaur King. Oh well, I do want to grab a couple of quips. Hopefully this episode doesn't get too long. I might only grab one of them because next episode is going to be mostly a collection episode, so don't know how long that would be exactly. There would be a lot of editing, so it would probably come to be a little bit short. And this is taking quite a while. How should I get started? I'm gonna be going past you guys. You guys are actually called Tauruses because you're different from the Moblins. Kind of similar though. You're like all like the sword soldiers in the light world. Always have to call them by name. We want to hop into this. It's kind of hinting to where another dungeon would be. Actually, dungeon number 5. You could technically do them in order with a little bit of sequence breaking. Not necessarily even with sequence breaking either. But I'm going to do them in order by number. Number 2 is actually in the swamp area. So that's over a thing. Yes, over a thing. The shallow bit of water with some surrounding pieces of moss rocks. Let's go back to the light world. It's like the Buzz Blob had a piece of heart on his head. That's adorbsable. And while I'm here on this insula, Latin for island, peninsula is almost island, I'm going to end the episode with this Zora shooting at me, so I'm not entirely safe here. Until next time on The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, where we use our new magic hammer to open up many collectibles in both the light world and the dark world, don't toast yourself.